All right, good evening.
Good
Pay
evening.
close attention because my insight is very nearsighted. Gotta keep close attention. I am Apollo Price. I'm a 46-year-old grunge boy. I still think I smell like Teen Spirit. I was hoping to do a little bit of stage diving here, but it looks like that's not gonna be happening here tonight. But, I received a text the other day from a friend, and it was some really awful news. It was some really sad news. And I didn't know what to say back, so I typed out SADFACE and send. I mean, the perfect thing to say, right? But the only thing is I don't have emoticons on my phone. The thing I'm afraid of is that I'm turning into my mother. You see, my mother is a person who's given up on technology like back in the 80s. To her, the home computer is just as technical as a helicopter, and the cell phone is just something that sits on the counter and doesn't have a cord. But it really hurts my mom. I mean, she thinks that they should be protected, the technology ignorant, just like, the ADA. She should have her own special parking spot at the mall. When my sister and her go to the mall, my mom gets lost within 15 minutes. Because she doesn't have a cell phone. So she's underneath the security, crying away, feeling more alone and isolated than she ever has before, while the intercom's going, "Please pick up your mother, please pick up your mother." And so finally, we bring her out, but what I do is I have to have an understanding with my mom. And my understanding with my mom is to let her be her. And so what I do when I take her to the mall, I put her on one of those toddler leashes. So that way I can keep track of her wherever she goes. But my only problem is even with my mom on the leash, I still love hitting on women. So I'm sitting there walking through the mall, and she's going, "Let's go see the discount rack." And I'm like, no, look at that black goddess over there. And I'm like, "How are you doing, anchor baby?" "Oh, Mom, you messed me up again." But I have to keep a special eye on her though, because lately, she has been kind of gnawing through her cord, and I have to go run and tackle her and bring her back. All right. So now that you've met Ma, why don't we meet Pa? Where I come from, it's a rite of passage to when you get your first BB gun in the 4th grade. My dad brought it home. I was like, "Yes, my BB gun." And he hands it to me, and he teaches me how to shoot it in the standing position. He teaches me how to shoot it in the prone position. He shows me how to use it laying down. Then he also shows me how to clean it. But that's the closest my dad has ever come to the birds and bees speech. So after a while, after shooting birds, or shooting cans and bottles, you get bored of that. So I had this neighbor down the street, and he's like, "I shoot birds." And I was like, "That sounds great to me." And so I go down to Scott Pollock's house, and we dress up in our little Star Wars outfits, and we're out there with our guns shooting away. And it took me a good half an hour before I was able to shoot my first bird, because I am a horrible shot. But I got my first bird, bam, and there it went down. So I go over to my kill, and there it was, standing, looking at me, with the back half of its head blown out, and chirping. That's when I realized I am not Darth Vader. I'm his bitchy ass son. The one that gets thrown into the tauntaun, gets his hand cut off, and molests his sister. That was the day I discovered I was a Democrat. So, the other day, I was cruising on the radio, and just a song was kind of going through my head, the grunge thing was just coming to me. I'm like, "A mulatto, a mosquito, my libido, yeah!" So I was cruising on the radio, and I was in that Latin part, that part above 102 and below 90, the oompa oompa part. And I heard a version of that song with accordions. And it made way more sense to me. I mean, who would want to compare their libido to a mosquito? Who would want their male sexual aggression compared to a mosquito? So the accordions are kicking it out, and it's un mulatto, un elefanto, mi libido, si. But what was so funny about that is the first time I told that joke, I had a friend, he brought his beautiful, beautiful Latin wife, and she didn't laugh at anything in my show except for that joke. And so I said, oh, hey, so did you like my Latin joke? And she goes, no, you mispronounced elephant. Oh, thank you, everybody. This is my first time out here. My timing is still coming together. I thank you all very much. The last piece that I'm going to give you before I go is that it's better to be a lover than have a lover. Hey.